Hey everybody, it's Rob with RobFindsTreasure, and I've emptied out my 3 jars of 2009 pennies because we're going to look for some heirs and varieties today. So we'll be looking for some heirs and varieties and some copper cents. I've got my 2009 pennies segregated by the formative years and then all the other 3 different varieties made that year in this box. These I'm sending back to the bank. I don't need them anymore. I've searched penny rolls and penny boxes for the past year, and I've pulled out all the 2009s like you guys have seen me do, all because I wanted to have one time, one sit down, where I would go through them and check for those extra fingers on the 2009p formative year pennies. That being said, I'll show you a clip of when I found this bag of copper 2009 pennies. So I just went through 3,500 of my 2009s that I've pulled out of all of my penny boxes. These are all of the discards because they're not the ones I need to look through for the formative years to go through for the extra fingers, whether it's the pinky, the thumbs, you name it. The good news is, after going through all those, I actually have some copper ones. And I've got an extra one of the Philadelphia minted birth and early childhood. I've got an extra one of his professional life and an extra one of his presidency. So 2 complete sets plus a few extra ones. That is pretty cool. And for those that don't know, the copper ones were minted with less than 800,000 of them minted. And in MS65, they're about $10. These are really nice, believe it or not. So I must have scored somebody's collection dump at one point, and I just didn't know. But I didn't end up weighing all of them. You can tell the copper ones, they have a different color to them than the zinc ones. So they were pretty easy to spot. Once I saw the first one and weighed it up, I knew what to look for, and I just kept on pulling them out of the jars that I had. So as you can see, I was pretty excited that I found some copper pennies in here. It's pretty cool that I made 2 complete sets of the 4 different varieties that year. So that makes me really happy. Now I have the arduous task of segregating the Philadelphia minted 2009 formative years from the Denver mints, because as you know, we'll be searching for the 2009 Philadelphia mint, 5 different varieties of the extra fingers. Now I used the book Strike It Rich with Pocket Change. This is an older edition, but we'll be checking for, there's 5 different variety types. There's the FS801, the FS802, the FS803 with the extra pinky, the FS807, which is a beautiful one, more common than the others, and then another variety that's not listed in the Cherry Picker's Guide, but it is in the Wexler and the Konica Guide as well, and it's got an extra finger right here above the index finger. So those are the major varieties that I'll be looking for. That being said, we've got them separated, and it's time to get on with the hunt. So I'm about 90% of the way through this jar of 2009 formative years, and I'll tell you, the heirs and varieties you're looking for on the double fingers is all the Philadelphia minted pennies. And about 2/3 I have are Denver mints. So I'm not getting as much bang for buck as I wanted, because with 1,000, maybe 1,200 pennies in here, 800 I'm not even going to be able to look at because they're not going to contain the double finger varieties. The good news is, hunting them, I've got this penny right here, and take a look at this. You can clearly see that there's some extra markings here and here. So there's 2 different areas to look at, and that is one of the Cherry Picker's Guide's heirs and varieties, FS801, or if you're a Wexler guy, WDDR043. I'm going to go ahead and show you in the book what we're looking at here. You can clearly see the extra finger with like a little bit of a mole, if you will, and that third part right there. There's 3 arrows pointing the top mole, the extra finger, and then this extra line in here. If I go back to mine, we've got that extra mole, that extra finger, and that third part right there. So the good news is I just found a 2009 Philadelphia minted formative year penny, Cherry Pickers FS801, Wexler WDDR 043. Now obviously this is an outdated price guide, but this was an $8 extra fine, all the way up to $65 for uncirculated. If I take my penny out of here, you can clearly see it's definitely an extra fine. Let me get a little light on this for you guys. It's definitely an extra fine. I guess it could go about uncirculated. It has good detail. Obviously the finish is not the greatest, but man, we'll take it. We got our first Aaron variety of the 09s, and I'll tell you, after all this past year collecting the 2009s, to get it down to that many plus this to go, I was hoping we'd get at least one of the extra finger varieties. There's 6 of them, or 5 of them, sorry, and we've got one. Let's see if we can find another one. Well, we finished the hunt. We couldn't find any more. The good news, we found one. After about an hour and a half of work, we ended up finding an FS801 2009 extra fingers. I absolutely love it when I stick it under the scope. Here's one final look at it. You can clearly see the 3 markers like I pointed out earlier, and that is the 3 markers that you can identify it in my Heirs and Varieties book. If you enjoyed this 2009 extra fingers hunt with me, please give the video a thumbs up. And as always, everyone, happy hunting, and thanks for watching.